All right. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? What's up? Are we ready for today's class? Hi, Preeti. Very good evening. How are you? All right. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? What's up? Are we ready for today? Very good evening, Preeti. So today we are going to complete macroeconomics chapter number 8 and chapter number 9. Very good evening, Priya. So beta, in yesterday's class we had completed the demand for money. In the demand for money we had completed 6 theories: cash transaction approach, cash balance approach, liquidity preference theory, Baumol and Tobin's theory where money is treated as inventory approach, Milton Friedman's restatement of quantitative theory, and Tobin's theory towards the risk. Hello, Faridul. So, beta, if there is demand for money, now we need to talk about the supply of money. Now, if we want stability, we require that money supply should be at an optimum level. Oversupply of money can result into inflation. If the money supply is more, then it can result into inflation. If money supply is less, then it can result into recession. A yes or no? Now we calculate money supply. So there are certain formulas which are there under the calculation of money supply. You have studied the concept of M1, M2, M3, M4. So these are formulas that you need to remember. So I'll quickly go through the formulas for M1. Measurement of money supply. They are in the form of M1 to M4. These are the old classification. So what is M1? Currency and notes, coins with the people, plus demand deposits, that is current and savings account. And there are other deposits with the RBI. The other central banks of the world can keep a reserve, can keep some money with the RBI. So beta, what is M1 equal to? M1 is equal to currency, notes and coins plus demand deposits of banks plus other deposits with the RBI. Other deposits with the RBI can include deposits of the government, central bank of other countries. Now there is M2 which includes bank plus post offices. So M2 is equal to M1 plus savings deposit with post office savings bank. So in a post office savings bank, they have certain saving deposits. So in M2, we add that part of the post offices. Then we have M3, which again only focuses on banking. So M1 plus time deposits with the banking system, like fixed deposit and recurring deposit. So beta, what is the difference between M1 and M3? M1 and M3, the difference is the treatment of time deposits. In M1, we do not include the time deposits, whereas in M3, we include the time deposits. Then M4 is again banking plus post offices. But this time we don't take savings deposit, we take the total deposits. So M4 is equal to M3 plus total deposits with the post office savings organization. We say that M1 is narrow money whereas M3 is broad money. See, M1 and M3 are related to banking, M2 and M4 are related to banking and post offices both. So we have a comparison between M1, M3, M2, M4. Difference between M1 and M3 is the treatment of time deposits. M1 does not include time deposits, whereas M3 includes the time deposit. M1 is more liquid but lesser money supply. Since the money supply is less, it is called as narrow money. In M3, it is less liquid but more money supply. Since the money supply is more, we call it as broad money. So beta, everybody, what is M1 called as? Narrow money. What is M4 called as? Broad money. Chalo, are we all clear? Yes, everybody. Do we have any questions over here? Faridul, Preeti, Priya. Yes, Preeti, absolutely correct. Do you want me to explain broad money or you are clear? Now, this was only banking and post offices. Plus, it is a mixture. M1, M3 talks only about banking. M2, M4 talks about banking and savings, post office. So, we came across with new monetary aggregates. NM1 is equal to M1. Same formula. Currency and notes with the public plus demand deposits with the banking system plus other deposits with RBI. Okay, Preeti. Then NM2, as I told you, new monetary aggregates only includes banking system. So NM1 plus short-term deposits of residents up to a period of 1 year. And NM3 is NM2 plus long-term plus call or term funding. Call money is that money which is for up to a period of 15 days. Then we have liquidity estimates in which we have banking plus non-banking. And that also includes post offices. So if you observed in NM1, NM2, NM3, we did not consider the post offices. So L1 is equal to NM3, whatever is there in banking, plus all deposits of the post office savings bank. Then L2 is equal to L1 plus term deposits with term lending institutions and refinancing institutions like NABARD, EXIM, IDBI. All these are refinancing institutions. So NABARD takes money from RBI and then gives it to agricultural banks. So the finance that NABARD gives is actually taken from the RBI. So it is a refinancing institution. And then we have L3, which is L2 plus public deposits of NBFC, non-banking financial corporations or companies. Yes, dear students, are we clear? Then we have something called as reserve money. Reserve money is M0. That is currency in circulation plus bankers deposit with RBI. That is reserves of the commercial banks. And then we have other deposits with RBI. So these are your 11 formulas. First we had M1 to M4. Then we have NM1, NM2, NM3, so total 7. Then we have another 3 formulas, L1, L2, L3. And there is something called as reserve money. So what are the sources of money supply? The first source is central bank, the other source is banking system of the economy. So money supply can be through two sources. One is the central bank and one is the banking system. Now this is a very important concept wherein we talk about the determinants of money supply. And in determinants of money supply, first we need to understand the money multiplier. So what is money multiplier? Money multiplier is money supply upon high powered money, which is written as M upon H upon B, H or B. So small m is equal to money supply big M upon high powered money. M0 is also called as high powered money, reserve money, liquid money. So beta, if RBI gives 1 lakh rupees, 50,000 in the form of cash, 50,000 in the form of bank. Now banks can create credit. So 50,000 rupees in a bank easily becomes 2,50,000. So the credit multiplier is credit created upon the money given to banks. Credit multiplier is 2,50,000. Yes or no? Now the total money created, Priya, in the economy is 50,000 plus 2,50,000. Because let's assume that velocity of cash is 1. So if the velocity of cash is 1, so 50,000 plus the credit created by the bank, so the total money in the economy is 3 lakhs. So 3 lakh upon 1 lakh is equal to 3, which is your money multiplier. So what was the formula for money multiplier? It is equal to the money supply. Money supply is 3 lakhs upon high powered money or base money, which was equal to 1 lakh. So the value of multiplier is 3 times. Yes, Faridul, are we clear? Chalo, everybody quickly give me a reply in the chat box. Done, 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 done. Now, what are the determinants of money multiplier? That depends on 3 behavior. First is the behavior of central bank, second is the behavior of commercial bank, and third is the behavior of public. Lovely. Beta, if you have any questions, you need to ask me in the chat box. I will reply it on the spot. I hope everybody is understanding and getting a clarity. Hello, Mike Tyson. I see you for the first time today, my friend. So higher the high powered money, higher is the money supply. If lower the high powered money, lower is the money supply. So the relationship is direct. So determinants of money multiplier, the first determinant is by the name of stock of high powered money. High powered money is issued by central bank. So it is the behavior of the central bank. Excuse me. Now second behavior is the commercial bank's behavior. Commercial bank have to keep reserves as a part of their deposit. So second part is the yeah, are you all able to see me, hear me? So required reserve ratio. Hello, Kalyai. Hello, Bharati Mohan. Hi, Vasant. So required reserve ratio is compulsory. If required reserve ratio rises, that means if required reserve ratio rises, that means banks have to keep this in the form of reserves. If the banks have to keep this in the form of reserves, then the available money for creating credit will be less. So the relationship is inverse. Higher the required reserve ratio, lower is the money supply. Yes or no? What a beautiful logic in my language. Lovely. Now, over and above the required reserve ratio. See, required is compulsory, required is mandatory. So, we have something called as excess. Excess is over and above required reserve ratio. Now, if it is over and above, it is a bank's choice. How much money do they want to keep with themselves? So, if excess reserve ratio, if they maintain more ratio with themselves, then the money supply will be less. Less ratio with themselves, money supply will be more. So, again the relationship is inverse. So, under the behavior of a commercial bank, we have two ratios. One is required reserve ratio, one is excess reserve ratio. Required is mandatory, compulsory, has to be kept by a commercial bank with the central bank. Excess reserve ratio is optional, that every bank chooses to keep with itself. Now that is dependent on three reasons. First, the available interest rate. Suppose if the interest rate, Preeti, in the market is pretty high, so should you keep excess reserve ratio? No. If you are getting a higher rate of interest, you should rather give that money in the form of loans. So excess reserve ratio should be maintained lesser, money supply should be increased, and vice versa. Then there has to be outflow. So if a bank is estimating that people will come to the bank, withdraw the money, that means bank is anticipating a higher outflow. If the outflow expected is high, then the excess reserve ratio maintained needs to be high. And if excess reserve ratio is maintained at a higher level, then the money supply is less, and vice versa. Yes, dear students. And finally, there is opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the opportunity lost. So in the market, if the current rate of interest is high, your opportunity cost is high. So if the opportunity cost is high, should you hold money? You should hold lesser money, so excess reserve ratio will fall. If excess reserve ratio falls, the money supply will increase. That is your third part of excess reserve ratio. So excess reserve ratio is dependent on three concepts. One is interest, one is outflow, and one is the opportunity cost. So how many behaviors are we supposed to study? Three behavior. Behavior of central bank, behavior of commercial bank. Now we need to study the behavior of the public. That is the ratio of currency to deposit. Now, if people hold more currency with them, deposit lesser money in the bank, so the credit creating ability of banks will reduce. So, if currency to deposit ratio is high, then the money supply will be low. If the currency held with the public is less, that means they are depositing their money to the bank. More the money with the banks, more will be the money supply. Therefore, relationship is inverse. Good evening, David. Then banking habits can be either favorable or unfavorable. If you have a favorable banking habit, then the money supply will be more. If you have unfavorable banking habits, then the money supply will be less, because lesser money will go in the banking system. Then there is TD to DD ratio. TD is time deposit, DD is a demand deposit. So if the TD, time deposits, are maintained more than demand deposits, bank will have money for a longer duration of time, and therefore they will be able to create credit and money supply will increase. So again there is a direct relationship. Yes, dear students, are we all clear? Have we understood? Any questions, any queries, any doubts? Understood, Preeti, that's wonderful. And then we have credit creation, which I believe you have already done in your +2 levels. The formula for credit creation is A into 1 upon R. When money enters in the banking system, it does not remain at the same level, because banks have the power to create credit. Vasant, your question is not clear. Time deposits are those deposits which are for a longer duration of time, like a fixed deposit and a recurring deposit. They are called as time deposits. So in bank we have current account, savings account, which are called as demand deposits. In bank we also have fixed deposit and recurring deposit, which is called as time deposit. So if in a bank an initial amount of 10,000 enters, assuming the required reserve ratio is 10%, we can get up to 1 lakh rupees in the banking system. So the formula is A into 1 upon R. A is initial deposit and R is the required ratio. And the formula for credit multiplier can be 1 upon R, that is 1 upon 10%, which is equal to 10 times. So 10,000 included, 10,000 in the banking system can become 1 lakh if the required reserve is 10%. So it means that 10 times is the value of credit multiplier. Chalo, are we clear, dear students? Shall we go to the MCQs for unit number 2? Vasant is clear, Priya is clear. If there is anybody else who requires help, please let me know in the chat box. I hope we are done with unit number 2. So what is your answer for question number 1? Yes, dear students, tell me what is your answer. Reserve money is also called as central bank money, base money, high powered money. So your answer is D, all of the above. Next, what is the formula for reserve money? So it is currency in circulation plus deposits with RBI, bankers deposit with RBI and other deposits with RBI. So third MCQ, the answer is B. What is the formula for M1? Currency and coins with public plus demand deposits with the banking system plus other deposits with RBI. Therefore, your answer is A. Do you agree? Are we clear? Next one. The primary source of money in the countries, all the countries is dash. So it has to be their central bank of the country. So your answer is the B. The next one. The money multiplier and money supply are. So money multiplier and money supply, what is the relationship? Positively related with excess reserve ratio. Is that true? So if excess reserve ratio is high, the money supply is low. So it is not true. There is an inverse relationship. So this is not correct. Excess reserve ratio has an inverse relationship. So excess reserve ratio rises, money supply will fall. There is an inverse relationship which is correct. Here they are saying positive, that means direct, whereas we get negative. So B is the correct option. Yes or no? Are we clear? आगे बढ़ते हैं. Let's go to the next one. Give me the answer for question number 12. Yes, everybody. 12th one, Preeti says the answer is C. The currency ratio. Currency means currency to deposit ratio. The answer will be the behavior of public. Yes, dear students. 12th, somebody said the answer is B, which is wrong. The answer for 12th one will be C, because baby, its currency to deposit ratio is a part of behavior of public. Central bank, we don't have currency ratio. We have high powered money. So, the answer for next one, the size of money multiplier is determined by it is the currency ratio of the public. Higher the currency ratio, lower is the money supply and money multiplier. Required reserve ratio, commercial. So basically money multipliers dependent on all of the above. Your answer is D. Yes, babies, it will be shared on your group on Thankyou app. All right. So you have 5 minutes. Revise. Ask doubt, if any. You have 5 minutes. I will start in the next 5 with unit number 3. So, baby, it's already uploaded on the Thankyou app. You can download it from there. So, I'll be back in 5 minutes. I want you all to ask me doubts if you have any. If not, we will go to the next part of the chapter. Yes, dear students, do we have any questions, queries, or doubts? Please let me know in the chat box. Shall I go to the next part of this chapter? Are you all able to see me, hear me? All right, Preeti, Priya. So the next part is the monetary policy. We have studied demand for money, we have studied supply for money. We said that if in the economy money supply is more, it will lead to inflation. If money supply is less, it will lead to deflation or recession. Now, do we want inflation, recession, or we want stability? And for stability, we need to announce a monetary policy. Monetary policy is used to regulate the supply of money, cost of money, availability of money, and the use of money. The supply of money, how much will be the supply? What will be the cost of money? What is the availability of money? And what will be the use of the money? So, monetary policy is used for these purposes. Now, when you talk about monetary policy framework, first you have objectives, very basic. What are the objectives? We want economic growth and development, opportunity of employment, exchange rate management. Then comes analytics. Analytics means channels. Channels of monetary policy is also called as monetary transmission mechanism. So analytics is called as channels, channel is called as monetary policy, monetary transmission mechanism. It is used to control inflation and recession, and the first channel is by the name of interest rate. So if we increase the interest rate, the amount of loans given in the market will be less. Because at a very high rate of interest, people do not want to borrow money. So demand will be less, investment will be less, output and employment will be less, and overall supply will fall. If supply of money falls, the prices will also fall. So during inflation, prices are high. We want the prices to fall. We achieved it via interest rate channel. And vice versa for recession. Now there is another channel, that is exchange rate channel. The policy of appreciation will be used during inflation. And the policy of depreciation will be used during recession. So if $1 is equal to rupees 80 and that $1 becomes a 78, our currency has appreciated. So if our currency gets appreciated, we will reduce our exports, because now you are getting 2 rupees lesser. Earlier you were getting 80, now you are getting only 78. So during the time of inflation, the prices are high. Therefore, demand for domestic goods is less. So if we appreciate our currency, we will reduce our exports and increase our imports, because now imports have become cheaper. So if the demand for domestic good falls, investment will fall, output employment will fall, money supply will fall, and prices will also fall for domestic goods. So basically during the time of inflation, use the policy of appreciation. During the time of recession, use the policy of depreciation. When $1 becomes 82 instead of 80, now what will happen? When you export, you will get more rupees. Though you get more, but you become actually a cheaper commodity for those who are exporting, importing. So exports will be more and imports will be less. So if there is recession, domestic prices, good level are lower. Demand for domestic goods will increase. If we start reducing imports and increasing exports, investment will rise, output employment will rise, supply will rise, and the price will also rise. Then there is quantum channel, which is divided into two parts: bank lending channel and balance sheet channel. Under the bank lending channel, during the time of inflation, banks are required to keep higher reserves. If they maintain a higher reserve, loans will be less. Demand will fall, investment will fall, because the loans given in the market are less. Demand and investment will fall, so output and employment will fall. If output employment falls, the supply will fall and the price will also reduce. And vice versa during the time of recession. During the time of recession, the bank reserves are lower and therefore everything else rises. Now, balance sheet channel. Your interest rate has an impact on the balance sheet of a company. Suppose if the interest rates are high, a company has borrowed money on floating rate of interest. That means if rate of interest rises, their repayment of interest will also rise. If interest rate falls, their repayment of interest will also fall. So during inflation, generally the interest rates rise. If interest rate rises, repayment of loans, interest repayment will rise. So the amount of money available with the company to invest will be less, because more money is going towards the repayment of loan. If investment is less, output and employment will be less, supply will be less, and prices will fall. And vice versa during recession. Yes or no? Have you all understood? Rambanalla irka. And then there is asset price channel. So during that time of inflation, can I say, Preeti Priya, interest rates are high, so bonds are attractive to invest. So proportion of money invested in bond markets will increase because there is higher rate of interest available during the time of inflation. So if people want to invest in bond, they will withdraw their money from equity. So investment in equity will fall. So you have withdrawn money from equity market and put money in bond market, which is time stipulated. Therefore, overall demand will fall, investment will fall, output employment will fall, money supply will fall, and prices will also fall. Absolutely vice versa during the time of recession. So there are how many channels? The first channel is by the name of interest rate. Second channel is by the name of exchange rate. Third channel is quantum channel, which is further divided into two. Under the quantum channel, we have bank lending channel and balance sheet channel. And finally, there is asset price channel. Yeah, are we all clear? Can I get a reply in the chat box? Yes, everybody. Preeti, Priya, Vasant, Babeats, Faridul, Vasant, Mike Tyson. Faridul is clear. Priya, beta, you all are clear in everything. Where are your doubts? I was told that you have difficulty in macroeconomics. But you don't ask me even a single question. Which means you know everything in macro. Then why are we having these lectures? Just that you can see lovely. No doubts only. Anyway, let's go to the last part of this chapter, that is operating procedures and surplus. That is operating procedures and instruments. So there is an RBI which issues the monetary policy. It has an operating target which can be inflation or recession. For so RBI announces a monetary policy to control inflation so that there is price stability. If we want price stability, we need to select an instrument like CRR, SLR, bank rate, repo rate, reverse repo rate. And the ultimate goal and final target is to achieve economic growth and development. A yes or no? That's wonderful, Preeti. So, what are the methods through which we can achieve stability in the economy? So, there is something called as CRR, cash reserve ratio, maintained by the commercial bank with themselves. So, the first point is CRR. Cash reserve ratio is maintained by the commercial banks in the form of reserves with the central bank, not with themselves. So cash deposit to be maintained with the Reserve Bank of India. So CRR is the ratio of cash reserve ratio maintained by a commercial bank with the central bank. Then there is SLR, statutory liquidity ratio, maintained by the commercial bank with themselves but in the form of liquid assets, cash, gold, treasury bills, but this money cannot be utilized for the purpose of lending. So first one was CRR, second one is SLR. CRR is cash reserve ratio maintained by a commercial bank with the central bank. SLR is statutory liquidity ratio maintained by the commercial banks with themselves but in the form of cash, gold or government securities. Then we have liquidity adjustment facility, which is further divided into two, repo and reverse repo. Repo rate is the rate at which commercial bank borrows money from RBI by selling securities with a promise to repurchase it on a future date. So if commercial bank is in need of money, commercial bank will go to the Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India will charge them a rate of interest. That rate of interest on borrowing is called as repo rate. But if you want a loan, if commercial bank wants a loan, they will have to give them a security. So what is repo rate? Repo rate is the rate at which commercial bank borrows money from the central bank by selling securities with a promise to repurchase it on a future date. Now what is reverse repo rate? Reverse repo rate is reverse. It is the rate at which central bank borrows money from the commercial bank. The rate of interest paid by the Reserve Bank of India to the commercial bank is called as a reverse repo rate. Then we have a marginal standing facility. Now marginal standing facility basically is a penal rate of interest. You will have to pay penalty because you have mismanaged the funds. You wanted money, you borrowed money from RBI in the form of repo rate. Now you are not even having enough of that. So what you do? You go for an MSF, marginal standing facility. RBI is the lender of last resort. You have to pay a penal rate of interest. It is a safety valve against unexpected liquidity crisis. So you felt that there is enough liquidity, but one fine day you realize that no, I am feeling short of money, falling short of money. Then there is market stabilization scheme. Market stabilization scheme was introduced by Manmohan Singh in the year 2004, when there was a lot of inflow of money in our economy because he had won the elections and become the prime minister of our country. So when he was a finance minister, he had done wonders. So people anticipated now when he comes, he will do even more wonders. So foreign sector started investing heavily in India. So there was a lot of inflow of money that resulted into higher money supply and inflation. So now if the money is coming in, should we tell no, don't come, there will be the problem of inflation in our economy? Can we do that? No. So what did Manmohan Singh do? He took money from the foreign sector, which increased the money supply in our economy. So he allowed the inflow of money, and he took away the inflow of money from the public by issuing bonds for a shorter period of time. So he announced bonds. People started investing in bonds. So that money which was excess in the market was pulled out, absorbing the excess liquidity from the market arising from large capital inflows. So how many things did we study? 5. CRR, SLR, repo rate, reverse repo rate, MSF, MSS, market stabilization scheme. Then bank rate is dormant today. Bank rate is similar to repo rate these days. It was earlier known as a rediscounting for bills of exchange. So you have heard about discounting of bills of exchange. So if bank is in need of money, the bank will give the bill to the RBI. The RBI will charge an interest. That rate of interest is called as bank rate. Then we have open market operation, in which we will do buying and selling of government securities for long term. So tell me, if in our economy there is inflation or recession, what should RBI do during inflation? Should RBI sell securities or purchase securities? Chalo, tell me in the chat box, everybody. During the time of recession and inflation, let us take the situation of inflation. What should RBI do? Buy securities ke sell securities? During the time of inflation, we want to reduce the money supply. So if you want to reduce the money supply, RBI should sell securities so that people will purchase. If people purchase, they will give money to the RBI. And during the time of recession, the RBI should purchase the securities. Yes, dear students, are we clear? Give me a reply in the chat box. Preeti, Priya, Faridul, Vasant, Baby, Mike Tyson. I hope everybody is aware about Monetary Policy Committee. It's a 6-member committee formulated in the year 2016 to keep inflation rate under target. Monetary Policy Committee has 6 members, 6 from the government, 3 from the government and 3 from RBI. So let's go to the MCQs of unit number 3 and then start with the last part of our journey today. That is chapter number 9. Question number 1, the answer is D. Which of the following is the function of monetary policy? It is to regulate the availability, cost and use of money. What is the main objective of monetary policy? Economic growth with price stability. So your answer is B. Thank you Vaishali, thank you Preeti, Priya and Faridul. Monetary transmission mechanism means channels or analytics. So it is the process or channels, answer is C, through which evolution of monetary aggregates affects the level of product and prices. A contractionary monetary policy. Contractionary monetary policy will be used during expansion. It increases the interest rate, which increases the cost of capital and real cost of borrowings for firms and household. Not only for firms but also for household. Next is question number 7. Commercial banks through repo and reverse repo. Repo and reverse repo is a part of LAF, liquidity adjustment facility. Therefore, your answer for question number 7 is C. Next. An open market operation is an instrument of monetary policy which involves buying and selling of dash government securities. So your answer is C. So with that, I have completed your chapter number 8. That is money market, demand for money, supply of money and the monetary policy. बोले तो lovely. So you again have 5 minutes. Ask doubts if any. I'll be waiting for your doubts in the chat box. If I don't get the doubts, I will start at 8:40 with the next part. Thank you, Faridul. Do you have any questions, queries or doubt? Please let me know in the chat box. If you all understood this chapter, do like, do comment. All right, I don't see any doubts coming from your end. So I am starting with the last part, that is international trade. So international trade is basically exchange of goods and services as well as resources between countries. It is the transaction between residents of different countries, and it involves transaction in multiple currencies. So if there are transactions which are in multiple currencies, obviously there is a lot of complexity, that is heterogeneity of customers and currencies. There is a difference in legal system, more documentation, diverse restrictions in the form of taxes, rules, duties, tariffs, quotas, trade barriers. So whenever we talk about international trade, there are certain merits and there are certain demerits. Now in this chapter you have studied certain theories. So the first theory is by the name of okay, there is some magic. I am writing and it's getting automatically erased. I don't know why. There is some error. The pen is not working. करण पेन अचानक से चाल काम करना बंद कर दिया रे। हाँ मतलब वो कुछ कर ही नहीं रहा है, लिख रहा होता तो वो इरेज हो रहा है ऑटोमेटिक। अभी तो लिख ही नहीं रहा है, पहले लिखते ही इरेज हो रहा था, अभी लिख ही नहीं रहा है। हाँ लगाएगा। ओके, एक सेकंड। यहाँ पर कुछ तो मैसेज आया, वुड यू, उप्स ओबीएस हैज क्रैश्ड। हाँ, वुड यू लाइक टू कॉपी द क्रैश लॉग। क्या करूँ, नो करूँ? ओके ओके। मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा है भाई, ये देख दोनों हाथ। वही, नहीं रही, ये रहा माउस। दिख रहा है ये स्क्रीन, स्क्रीन पे वाईकॉम पे दिख रहा है, हाँ। अभी वेकॉम पे कुछ नहीं दिख रहा है, अपना मेन स्क्रीन दिख रहा है सिर्फ। नहीं रे, बहुत वेरीड पिक्चर्स है, मतलब एक दो तीन मल्टीपल स्क्रीन्स आ गया उस पे। स्क्रीन के अंदर, स्क्रीन के अंदर, स्क्रीन के अंदर स्क्रीन। नहीं, कुछ भी नहीं। हाँ, ओबीएस सामने दिख रहा है, पर वही स्क्रीन के अंदर, स्क्रीन के अंदर स्क्रीन, ऐसा बहुत सारा दिख रहा है। हम्म। हम्म। हाँ, अभी ये जो अपना मेन स्क्रीन है ना, उसमें नहीं दिख रहा है मेरे को। मतलब जो मेरे को हमेशा अपने कंप्यूटर पे दिखता है, वो टैब पे दिख रहा है। और जिसपे मैं, अरे पहले ऐसा दिख रहा था, अभी उल्टा हो गया, मैं क्या करूँ? ये जो है ना स्क्रीन, वो पहले अपने को दिखता था। हाँ, पहले बराबर दिख रहा था, फिर चेंज हुआ। ये देख लिख रहा हूं तो इरेज हो रहा है. ओके. मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा हूँ. आ गया देख. यस. ओके. All right. So we are back. The technical issue is being sorted out. So first theory was by the name of mercantilist theory, which is also called as zero sum game, where only one country wins and the other country loses. One country will only import, the other country will only export. In this, the exporting country is at advantage because in return it is going to get paid in the form of gold and silver. So today, this is not the theory which is applicable. Adam Smith came up with a theory by the name of theory of absolute advantage. So if there is X country, Y country, there is A commodity and there is B commodity. So rather than writing, I have already made notes over here which we can check. So there is country A and there is country B. There is commodity X and commodity B. The calculation that I have written here is units per hour. So country A can produce 6 units in 1 hour. Country B can produce 1 unit of X in 1 hour. Country B can produce 5 units of Y in 1 hour, whereas country A can produce 4 units in 1 hour. So Faridul, can I say country A is better at producing commodity X and country B is better at producing commodity Y? So when one country is better in producing one commodity, another country is better in producing another commodity, then international trade should happen. We assume that there is one factor of production. The ratio is 1:1 or 6:6, so 1/1. So what did country A give? Country A will focus on manufacturing X. Country B will focus on manufacturing Y. So what will country A get? 6Y. And what will country B get? 6X. But to produce 6Y, country A will require 1 hour and 30 minutes. Whereas to produce 6X, country B will take 6 hours because in 1 hour it can produce only 1 unit. So what it got and what it gave? What did country A give? It gives 6X for which it requires 1 hour. So it has 30 minutes left. And what did country Y give? It will give 6Y. 6Y will take, 1Y will take 12 minutes. Because in 1 hour, I can make 5 units of Y. So if in 1 hour I can make 5 units of Y, then 1 unit will take 12 minutes. I will have 1 hour and 12 minutes for producing 6Y. So the excess time left with me is 4 hours 48 minutes. Yes or no? So this is the theory of absolute advantage, in which one country has advantage in producing one commodity, another country has advantage in producing another commodity. So the first theory was mercantilist. Second theory was theory of absolute advantage. Third theory is comparative advantage, in which one country has advantage in both commodities, another country has disadvantages in both commodities. Still, Ricardo believed that the countries should do international trade. The country which has advantage in both should produce that commodity in which it has more advantage, and country which has disadvantage in both should produce in that commodity in which there is lesser disadvantage. Then there is something called as HO theory, Heckscher-Ohlin theory. Heckscher-Ohlin is below. So there is Haberler's solution. Then there is HO theory, Heckscher and Ohlin theory, where there are two parts to this theory. One is factor endowment and one is factor price equalization. Now factor endowment means what? Every country has different set of resources. Some country has more of a particular resource, less of particular resource. Like USA is abundant in capital but scarce in terms of labor. India is abundant in labor but scarce in capital. So in India, labor is cheap, capital is expensive. In USA, capital is cheap, labor is expensive. So all countries of the world have different proportions of factors of production. That is called as factor endowment. And with international trade, we can bring about factor price equalization, that is explained in Heckscher-Ohlin theory. And then there is new trade theory, which is applicable for monopolistic competition. Because of two reasons: economies of scale and network effect. So economies of scale is low cost, low price model. When we produce commodities in bulk, the cost is lesser, so your prices are lesser, so you can serve the foreign market as well as the domestic market. Whereas network effect means bandwagon effect, high price, high cost. A yes or no? Are we all clear? Beta, do you want me to explain any theory in specific in detail? So there are 5 to 6 theories. First is mercantilist. Second is by the name of absolute advantage. Third, relative advantage, comparative advantage. Fourth is Heckscher-Ohlin theory, and fifth one is new trade theory. Do you want me to explain any of the theories in detail? Because we have a little limited time, so I don't want to waste our time. If you all are clear, if you have any requirement, let me know in the chat box. Yes, everybody reply in the chat box. Yes, everybody, are we all clear? Shall I go to unit number 2? Faridul is clear. What about Preeti? So in exam, they can give you in 1 hour how many units are produced, or 1 unit takes how many hours. So either they can give you the number of hours required to produce 1 unit, or they can give you units produced in 1 hour. Now we need to cover tariff, which is very important. Tariff as a trade policy. So there is specific tariff. Tariff is a custom duty. It is a tax imposed on goods and services, whether on import or export. Under specific, percentage is fixed. Under specific, amount is fixed per unit 1,000 rupees, whereas under ad valorem, percentage is fixed. So for example, if a particular commodity is worth 5,000, tax is 1,000. So that is called as a specific duty. Amount is fixed. Ad valorem means percentage is fixed. Mixed means specific tariff or ad valorem tariff, whichever is higher. Faridul, I'll come to question number 7 in unit number 1 once I am done with unit number 2. Mixed tariff, either specific ST or AVT, ad valorem taxes, whichever is higher. Compound means ST also plus AVT, both taxes. Technical tariff is on the product. For example, there is a mobile phone, there is a charger, there is a earphone. Mobile phone, the tax rate will be different. Charger, the tax rate will be different. Earphone will be different. Technical tariff. Then there is tariff rate quotas. Up to certain limit, there will be no tariff. 0 to 5,000 units, no tariff. 5,000 to 10,000 units, 10% tariff. 10,000 and above, 50% tariff. Whatever. Then most favored nations are members of WTO, World Trade Organization. Variable tariff means if your domestic price is not the same as the imported commodity. So if I import a commodity, it is sold at 40 rupees in India. But the same commodity when manufactured in India is sold at 50. So you increase the price by 10 rupees. That tariff is called as variable tariff. Then there is preferential tariff. If you are into an agreement with certain countries, then you will prefer them above MFN, most favored nation. Under most favored nation, we have all the WTO members. But under preferential tariff, we will prefer a country or a bloc. Bound tariff is highest tariff, applied tariff is actual tariff. So Bound tariff is the maximum rate of tariff that a country can charge. Applied is the actual tariff that is charged. Then there is escalated tariff. So on raw materials, we will charge a lower tariff. On semi-finished goods, a little higher tariff. On finished products, very high taxes. Because we want to encourage production in India, we want to discourage direct import of goods. So if you are importing a final product, we will charge you a higher tariff. Then there is prohibitive tariff. We don't want a particular commodity in our country. To prohibit that commodity, we will charge a tariff. It can be on cigarettes, liquor. It can be on a Hayabusa bike. Then we also provide import subsidies. And the most important one is tariff as a response, which is anti-dumping and countervailing duties. So when what is anti-dumping? See, if a foreign exporter is dumping its product in India, they are exporting goods to India, we are importing from them, they charge an excessively low price, probably even below their cost, which means they are dumping their product. So to counter, why do they dump their products? So that they can capture the foreign markets. And if they capture the foreign markets, then it will harm our domestic industry. So to avoid this, the government can charge anti-dumping. You dumped your product, I anti-dumped it by charging a tariff. So it is a wrong thing done by a producer. Whereas countervailing duty. So suppose in USA there is a farmer who manufactures apples. Now there is excess production of apples. And the price at which apples are sold in USA are very high. So they are now planning to export it. So government offers the farmers a subsidy to sell that product in Indian market. So if the farmer gets the subsidy in USA, they will be able to sell it at a lower price in India. That can affect our competition. In India, there will be Indian farmers who will not be able to match that price. So what will the government do? Countervailing duty to offset the effect of subsidy given by the exporting country or the exporting country's government to its producer. A yes or no? Then there are non-tariff measures which are directed into two: technical measures and non-technical measures. Technical measures include SPS and TBT, sanitary and phytosanitary, that is to protect humans, animals or plants. And then there can be technical barriers to trade. There are certain non-technical barriers which you are supposed to go through because there are many things like import quotas, restricting imports, price control measures, that is para-tariff measures, non-automatic licensing and prohibition. So if you want to give a license, you give the license for that commodity. But it is not an automatic renewal. Every time you want to import a commodity, you need to go and renew the license. Financial measures are applied by RBI. They might ask to pay advance tax. Then measures affecting competition, government's procurement policies, trade related investment measures. So there are many things. Distribution restriction. For example, suppose government of India will not allow sale of imported eggs, imported fish in India except if you have storage facility. So there is a restriction on your distribution. You can distribute a commodity only if you have a storage facility. Post sale services. So you can purchase a product of Sony, Apple, Samsung, but the post sale service will be provided only by Indians. There can be administrative procedures, give a lot of paperwork. Automatically, you will discourage imports. We need to find the rule of origin. Where is the product originated from? There can be certain safeguard measures, embargoes. Embargoes means a complete ban. Then there are certain export related measures. Embargoes means it is against our religious belief. So in India, Hindus do not eat beef. So in India, there is a ban on beef. We cannot import beef. Then there can be ban on export, export taxes, export subsidies and voluntary export restraints. A yes or no? Chalo, do you want me to cover any of the points in detail? Unit number 2, do you have any questions? Yes, Faridul. Are you clear with tariff, non-tariff? Tariff means a tax. Tariff means a custom duty. There are multiple types of tariff. Do you want to explain me any specific concept? There can be a specific tariff. There can be an ad valorem. Specific means amount is fixed. Ad valorem means percentage is fixed. There can be mixed tariff, either specific tariff or ad valorem tariff, whichever is higher. There can be compound tariff, specific plus ad valorem, both. So Faridul, suppose if you purchase an Apple phone, the government will allow you to purchase Apple ka phone, but government will say that the post sale service should be provided by Indians. So if a company wants to sell their product in India, they are allowed to sell their product in India with the condition that after sale services will be provided by Indians. So Apple's service center is in India. People employed in that service sector are Indians. So the advantage that you get is employment is generated and there is a shift of technology from US to India because Apple company will train the employees in India. So that is an advantage for us, right? So this is not a tariff measure, it is a non-tariff measure. So there is a Sony TV. Sony is not an Indian company. So you can import Sony TV. But if the TV is not working properly, then after sale service, installation will be done by Indian. Repairs will be done by an Indian. Yes, Faridul. Are we clear? Anything else, Faridul? Vasant, Preeti, Priya, Baby, Mike Tyson. Preeti has no doubts. That's wonderful. So there are 40-50 concepts in this unit, which you need to remember very clearly. So different unit number 3, only one thing is important. That is different types of agreements. Unilateral means ek tarfa, one country. Bilateral means both ways. Regional preferential trade agreement. There can be a trading bloc, free trade area, custom union, common market, economic and monetary union. Under economic and monetary union, the currency is the same. There is free inflow and outflow of labor and capital also. Factors of production can flow freely. Currency is same, central bank is also same. So under unit number 2, you need to go through all the different types of agreements which are important. Do you want me to discuss any of the types of agreement? Everything else in this chapter is read once. Not really very important. Go through the types of agreements. If you have doubts, let me know. So in the notes that we have provided, we have given detailed explanation of every type of tariff. All the types of agreements, unilateral, bilateral, multilateral, plurilateral. Preferential trade agreement, free trade area, trading bloc, custom union, common market. I hope everybody is aware that earlier there was GATT, General Agreement on Tariff and Trade, which was replaced by WTO. General Agreement on Tariff and Trade was announced in the year 1948. Till the year 1994, 1995, there was introduction of WTO. GATT used to only, General Agreement on Tariff and Trade means only for goods, it ignored services. There were multiple negotiation rounds. They are also called as trade rounds. Tokyo round, Uruguay round, Doha round. Uruguay was one of the most important rounds in which GATT was replaced and WTO was introduced. Structure of WTO is important. So there is a ministerial conference, then comes general council conference. Under general conference, there is a good council, service council and an intellectual property rights council. then all the types of agreements. So I'll go to unit number 4. Yeah, are we all clear with unit number 1, 2 and 3? What is exchange rate and its effects? Very important unit. So first of all, there is a market. Market is not a physical place. It is electronic market of big banks, dealers, foreign exchange brokers who are buyers and sellers. Who are the participants? So central bank is the major participant of foreign exchange rate. Commercial bank, foreign exchange rate dealers, speculators, arbitrators and MNCs. Then there is foreign exchange. It means money denomination other than domestic currency. Foreign exchange rate is the one currency in terms of another currency. $1 equal to how much rupees is foreign exchange rate. India's foreign exchange rate has 5 currencies. Latest we have added 6 currency in the form of rubles. There are 5 major networks, that is New York, London, Tokyo, Zurich and Frankfurt for foreign exchange market. Foreign exchange rate can be of 2 types. One is nominal, one is real. Nominal is the actual rate, real is the purchasing power. So $1 equal to 82 rupees is a nominal exchange rate. Then there is real exchange rate. Real exchange rate is the purchasing power which you can calculate by nominal exchange rate into domestic price index upon foreign price index. Now under nominal exchange rate there are 2 quotes, direct quote and an indirect quote. So $1 is equal to 82 rupees is a direct quote. When base currency is a foreign currency and counter currency is the domestic currency. So it's a direct quote for India. $1 equal to how much rupees? And if we do rupees to dollar, then it is an indirect quote because base currency is a domestic currency and foreign currency is the counter currency. So there is a direct quote and an indirect quote. $1 equal to 82, dollar equal to rupees is a direct quote. Rupee equal to dollar is an indirect quote. Then there is cross currency rate. There are 3 currencies and 2 quotes. So the cross rate refers to the exchange rate between 2 currencies, each of which has an exchange rate quote against a common currency. So $1 equal to rupee and rupee equal to yen, then we can find out $1 is equal to how many yens. So there are 3 currencies, rupees, dollars and yen, but 2 quotes. Such a quote is called as a cross quote. Then how are exchange rates determined? Either there can be free float or there can be managed float or there can be a fixed float. So basically there are 3 ways to have foreign exchange rate. Free floating, government does not interfere. Managed floating, partial interference by government. Fixed float, 100% interference by the government or the RBI. Now the home currency can either appreciate or depreciate. So $1 equal to 82, if it becomes $1 equal to 80, that means our currency has appreciated and the foreign currency has depreciated, because the foreign currency earlier $1's value was 82, but now $1 is only worth rupees 80, 2 rupees lesser. So dollar has become cheaper. That means dollar has depreciated, but rupee has appreciated. So when does home currency appreciate? What are the causes? Cause is supply of foreign currency in home currency increases. In India, if the supply of foreign currency increases, then Indian currency will appreciate. This will happen when exports will increase, FDI will increase, FII will increase, tourism will increase. So what happened? $1 was equal to 82, now it is equal to 80. So if this happens, our economy will become stronger. What will be the effects? The above one were causes, the below ones are effects. So if dollar becomes weak and rupee becomes strong, then exports will fall, imports will rise, exports have become cheaper, exports have become expensive for foreigners, imports have become cheaper for us. There will be a fall in price, inflation will reduce, profit will reduce, remittances will reduce. Similarly, we have home currency depreciation. $1 equal to 82 will become $1.84. So because of depreciation, Indian currency has depreciated but foreign currency has appreciated. Indians will import less because import price has gone up. And Indians will export more because you will get extra rupees. So that will happen when demand for foreign currency increases. These are the causes. When will foreign currency increase in home country? When the import payments are more. Indian firms are investing in foreign firms. If there is a loan repayment. Hey, yes or no? Are you all there? Are you all understanding? Give me a reply in chat box. So when demand curve shifts to the right, there will be increase. That is depreciation. Above were the causes, these will be the effects. Appreciation and depreciation are via demand and supply forces. Revaluation and devaluation is a purposeful activity of government policy and interference. Then there is a current transaction and a contractual transaction. Current transaction is spot market, contractual is future. Yes or no? Are you sure? See, this is a one short revision lecture. So many things are assumed that you are known. Is there anything that you want me to explain? Priya is clear. What about Preeti, Faridul? So that was your unit number 4. And unit number 5 is quite simple, in which there is FDI, FPI, FII. So international capital movement, foreign capital can be in the form of foreign aid or assistance, help. It can be in the form of borrowings. It can be in the form of deposits. And the most important one for us is FPI and FDI. So foreign portfolio investment, which is also foreign institutional investment, is in stocks and securities. That is a financial asset. Whereas foreign direct investment is in a physical asset. So foreign direct investment is a process by a resident of one country acquires ownership or asset in the host country. Now FDI can be through equity capital if it is more than 10%. Now FDI can be horizontal, vertical or conglomerate. So horizontal means what? Horizontal FDI is in the same industry. So I am a manufacturer of mobile phones in my country. I manufacture mobile phones in other country. That is called as a horizontal FDI. Dutch mobile company investing in a mobile company in India is a horizontal FDI. Vertical means either I go forward or backward. So FDI in a related industry abroad which provides raw materials, input services to investor business in the home country. So I am a book publisher acquiring a printing facility. And conglomerate means absolutely different from my existing business. So I am a dairy company in Switzerland, but I have invested in a telecom company abroad. So there is a horizontal FDI, there is a vertical FDI, or there is a conglomerate FDI. Foreign portfolio investment is in financial capital. So the difference between FPI and FDI is very important. It involves physical asset, whereas FPI involves financial asset. FDI is long term, FII is short term. It is difficult to withdraw, this is easy to withdraw. This is not speculative, this is speculative. Here you get advantage of transfer of technology, here there is no transfer of technology. There is a direct impact on labor employment. Here there is no direct impact on labor and employment. So next there are merits, demerits of FDI, which is again quite simple, for it is read once category. So somebody had a doubt in question number 7. Faridul, labor hours to produce. That means, can I say these are 10 hours, 20 hours? To produce how many units, Faridul? 1 unit. So let us see which country is better in producing which commodity. Country X requires 10 hours for 1 unit. Country Y requires 20 hours. So Faridul, tell me, in manufacturing wheat, who has an advantage? I can produce 1 unit in 10 hours, or I can produce 1 unit in 20 hours. So is country X better or country Y better in terms of wheat? Tell me, Faridul. You are efficient when you require lesser time. So country, very good, Faridul, country X has an advantage in wheat. Country Y has an advantage in rice. Yes, Faridul. So country X should focus on wheat. Country Y should focus on rice. If country X wants to produce 1 unit of Y, it will require 20 hours. Now the same work will be done by country Y. So how many hours will be gained by country X? Country X will save 20 hours. So your answer is A, Faridul. Do you agree, Faridul? Are we clear? Hmm. I'll just check, Faridul. So if you read the question carefully, they have asked how many hours will country A gain? So they are asking you about the extra hours gained by the country. That will be 10 hours. See, Faridul, if country X would have invested for 1 unit of X and 1 unit of Y, it would have totally required, yes, Faridul, so I am coming to that. Then they would have required 30 hours. Yes or no, Faridul? Country X, 30 hours, 10 for wheat and 20 for rice. Do you agree? So for 2 units, one of wheat and rice, total hours required is 30. Now country X will focus only on wheat. So it will produce 10 units of 10 hours for wheat. This is for one wheat, one rice. So focus will be only on wheat. Yes or no, Faridul? So it will manufacture 2 units of wheat, for which it will require 20. So 10 hours is the gain. They've asked what will be the gain of country X. How much is the gain? So gain is 10 hours. Yes, Faridul, if you are clear, let me know in the chat box. Chalo, next. What is the specific tariff? Specific tariff is the tariff where amount is fixed. Okay, Faridul, do you have any other doubts? Let me know in the chat box. Everybody who has a doubt should be informing me in the chat box. Shall I go ahead? So a specific tariff is a specified the answer I believe should be D. A tax on imports defined as amount of currency per unit. As a percentage, it is called as ad valorem. Escalated tariff, nominal tariff rates on raw material which are greater than manufactured products. No. Nominal tariff rates on manufactured products which are greater than tariffs on raw materials. So I think the answer is B. What is anti-dumping? What is countervailing? So unfair trade practices. Additional import duty to offset the effect of exporting firms unfair charging prices in foreign market which are lower than production cost to acquire the market. Additional import duties to offset effects of exporting firms unfair charging, it's the same. So answer for sixth one is D. What is a countervailing duty? So it is government against a government. So a tariff that aim to offset artificially low price charged by exporters who enjoy export subsidy and tax concession. True. It is charged by an importing country to ensure fair prices and market pricing of imported products. Charged by importing countries to protect domestic industries and firms from unfair price advantage from subsidies. I believe the answer for seventh one should be D. Non-tariff barriers include everything except. So non-tariff means does not include a tariff. So answer for 12th one is B. Chalo, now you let me know what concepts do you want me to cover. I will help you with that. I am done majorly with teaching you all everything, but if there are specific doubts, I want to cover those doubts. Please let me know in the chat box. Is there anything that I can help you with? If not, then that's it for today. And I think we are done with our entire economics revision as well. Let me know in the chat box if I can help you with anything specific. Faridul, Preeti, Vasant. Vasant is quiet today. Where are you, Vasant? Are you there in the class? Any chapter, any topic, if you have any doubts, let me know. I hope Faridul, your question number 7's answer is clear. Chapter number 8, chapter number 9. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, Preeti. So if we don't have doubts, I am done. Thank you so much. That's it from me today. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell icon. One last time, lovely. Done. Shall I end the lecture? Thank you, Faridul. Thank you, Priya. Bye bye. Thank you so much, Preeti, for attending it religiously. Lovely students, lovely lectures. If you have any doubts, please make sure that you are making a list of it. I shall definitely try to help you out. All right.